peoples. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Convicted to Grow podcast. I'm your girl, Coach Tressa, motivational speaker, confidence, and business coach. My goal is not only to bring you practical strategies and tips to build in life and in business when it comes to strategy and confidence, but to bring people from all walks of life to share their growth journey and how they have got to where they are today. Now, if you are on the audio side, please make sure you hop over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel for the visuals. I thank you in advance. And also, if you would like to be a supporter of this show, go to convictedtogrowpodcast.com. So let's get started. My next guest, she is a trailblazer in sports, business, and leadership with over 15 years of experience as an athlete, coach, and entrepreneur. A Springfield, Ohio native, she made history in high school, y'all, with 1,000 points,
Hey,
500 rebounds, 250 assists, and 250 steals. Continue her success in college with over 1,000 career points. At Sinclair College, she earned all OCCAC honors and became one of the few to win a conference title as both a player and a coach. Now, as a head coach, she has led teams to a 28-6 season and in NCAA Elite Eight and secured her first league title in her hometown. Off the court, she inspires audiences nationwide with her message of creating a championship life, mentoring young athletes, and excelling in sales, consulting, and real estate. I don't know how she do it, y'all, but her overall mission is to empower others to unlock their full potential and achieving lasting success. Now, y'all, let's welcome and show some love to none other than Danielle, aka Coach Rowe. Hey,
hey,
girl.
excited. What is up? What is up, y'all? Coach Tressa, you killing it. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to be on Convicted to Grow podcast. Just where you've gone, where you're going, where you've been. Man, I've been tuning in, so I'm super excited and super pumped up to be here. And definitely thank you for your consistency. I think it doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you for your consistency.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. And y'all know we done had some amazing, dope guests thus far. I've had a photographer, I've had an educator, I've had a DJ, I've had speakers and coaches, and we got somebody from the sports arena. I was like, see, I ain't tell her doing a pre-call, y'all, but she
Uh-oh.
gonna make me bring out my little basketball because I used to play AAU. I ain't tell
Okay.
nobody that.
Okay. AAU. Woo. Okay.
Well, listen, what had happened was I played basketball from second grade
Wow.
all the way to my 11th grade year.
Wow.
So I played AAU, and then when I got to 8th grade, um,
Yep.
I I played I played a middle school, and then I went to varsity, no JV.
She
JV.
slid right to varsity. I
No,
heard that. I
no,
heard that.
I went to JV. I went to
Okay.
JV. My eighth grade in middle school, I was in JV because
Oh,
I used to play
wow.
in high school. I was a point guard, and
Okay.
then ninth grade, 10th, and then ninth grade, I was in JV. 10th grade, I went to varsity.
Okay.
I went to varsity, 10th grade, 11th grade. And then, oh my God, I'm embarrassed to tell you this. Then I decided I wanted to be girly girl. And, I just wanted to, like, show solo, something, something. So then I went to cheerleading.
Cheerleading. I was getting ready to guess that. I was getting ready to guess that. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with it. There ain't nothing wrong with it.
I
So
was
you
the
said,
co-captain of the cheerleading
okay.
club. And then people was looking at me like, how you go from playing? Because I was basketball, RTC, but it was like, you know what happened? I wouldn't get no playing time.
Oh, okay.
But
Wow.
anyway, enough about me. But I just thought I would share that.
Let
Like,
me
dang,
find out you got some hoop cred.
girl,
Okay.
yeah. I would come
Hoop
down there. I would
cred.
come down. I'm like,
Okay.
no,
That's exciting.
girl,
Now
I can't
listen,
do
when I played, I did not have nails on, but when I coach, I do. We theme
it.
them things. We theme them off games. So
Man,
yeah,
and I
them
ain't never.
nails would have
I'm
made it.
5'1". So
Okay.
imagine I just know that as every year my playing time got less and less
Okay. Okay.
and less. I ain't gonna even fake the funk, y'all. I was not. There was some people that was better than me. God said I need you to stay in your lane. So I said I'm an energy person. Let me get on here this cheerleading squad.
Okay. Energy. All right. And look, it's paying off too. All of it. Everything's paying off. You
Well,
said I'm convicted to grow in 11th grade. You said I'm gonna grow over here to this cheerleading squad. Convicted to that. Hey, that's an example of convicted to grow right there.
listen.
Because it was something you never done before, too.
No, and the basketball. I know you're gonna talk a little bit more about that, but it was like, it was just part of being part of a team, dressing up, going
Oh
to
yeah.
business school. You know how it is. You had some little clout in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, that clout was cool. Use it to your advantage.
Yes, but when that 10th grade year, I was like, why am I getting put into the last 2 minutes of
Uh-oh.
the first school?
Uh-oh. You know what I called them? We'll talk about it. When I coached in college, we called that the countdown, the shot clock countdown crew. Because the whole game, they like 5, 4, 3, 2. They letting everybody on the court know that the clock counting down. That's the crew. It's called the culture crew though
For
on the
real?
bench. We call that the culture crew because they create the atmosphere. They next up.
That's
So
embarrassing. That's
I
embarrassing.
know,
You
I
got your
know.
family coming to see you and you get the last 2
They
minutes.
family walking in at halftime. We not missing much. But no, that whole roster is important though. The whole roster is important.
Oh God. Oh God, you took me back. Back. No, what it was, I got met. I realized, see, when AAU, it was easy. I got
Ooh,
playing time.
ooh, oh yeah, oh yeah. AAU is crazy now. 2024 AAU. Ooh, you wouldn't believe it. I owned an organization for
Really?
I was a director over a youth organization. Yep. And so during COVID, we just wanted to graduate out our high school students, and our 2024 was our last graduating class of AAU. It's $50 just to walk in there and see a kid now. So the landscape has totally changed with the grassroots youth. So that's one thing that I love speaking on is helping young people get out of trying to find their way without their parents going bankrupt.
Oh my gosh. Well, y'all listen. I know we listen. We always go with the flow, but let me rewind back a little bit. So
Right.
tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My name, they call me Coach Rowe. I'm out in the Ohio Midwest area, and a little bit about me as we talked. I just learned. So Coach Tressa got some hoop cred today. So grew up in the 4th grade is when I started playing ball. So I started playing in the 4th grade, and I was always the youngest on the team. Everybody was 7th, 8th grade, and got recruited by a guy. He was like, "Oh, you're a lefty," and I was like, "If it ain't," so I'm a lefty. And in the beginning stages of playing ball, the amateur coaches teach their kids, force her left. Well, y'all forcing me to my greatness, so I'm just gonna keep going. And so I just started doing this thing over and over and over. And over the course of my basketball career, they called me lefty. And I got good at one thing is putting a round orange thing. Y'all see my nails. It's hoop season. The putting the round orange thing in the round orange thing with my left hand, I got good at that. And so that one skill decided it was worthy enough. I worked hard enough. I was convicted enough to master that. And it paid for my entire undergrad degree. So fast forward, I leave college with a degree, debt free, zero debt. I mean, I'm walking across the stage. I was the first graduate in my immediate family, first college graduate. And I'm walking across the stage. I will never forget it because, I went to what we call PWI, private college. I was one of the few minority. I think there was like 5 or 6 minority women in athletics on our campus. But I was one of the only hoopers, though.
Okay.
And I can remember walking across stage at graduation. My family's there. We gonna stand out. That we had that outdoor wedding style graduation, white, folding chairs, at the PWI. But my family, we pulled up in packs. So you knew where my family was out in that crowd. And ended up graduating, walking across that stage at that private institution. And they gave us two things. They gave us our degree and they gave us a Bible. And I think about that every single time I speak to young people, because one is going to live forever. One is a true life manual based on just my foundation and my belief. The other one just qualified me to do some things that, regular people may not be able to do if they don't have that undergrad experience. But here was the gift, the true gift, walking across that stage. And they're like, why you say it like that? The true gift of walking across that stage is when I got to the other end, I was broke. And a lot of people was like, what do you mean? You was happy you were broke? Absolutely. Because all my friends was 6-figure in debt with student loans. I was grateful to be broke. And so I had zero balance. I had zero debt. And I said, look, if all them down and backs I was running counted for $100, I earned mine because I was a rebel kid. So I left in 2010, graduated with that degree, with that Bible, and with zero debt. And I said, what am I going to do with my life? But there was some emptiness as I was kind of navigating through, and we can jump into that more in depth. And I just had this epiphany 30 days after graduation that I didn't want a traditional job. I did not want a traditional job. And I sought out in June 2010 to become an entrepreneur. Fast forward 14 years later, I'm still on that journey. Was able to do some, different things in life as far as career-wise, making some shifts, but I've never shifted my true gift. And that's, inspiring, motivating, and allowing people to experience that championship lifestyle. So I'm just that one that, single, no kids, and just super ambitious about life. So there's no limits. And I'm just excited to be on Convicted to Grow podcast today with Coach Tressa, y'all.
Yes, and the nails are popping. But listen, hold on, y'all. First of all, let me rewind back. I knew it was something, y'all. I'm left-handed too.
Are you? You lefty? Lefties are my besties. You know what they say. If it's right, it ain't right. So,
but I was always left, but I struggled. So was you able to dribble with the right hand? I could never dribble.
I sure could not. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the gift of being a lefty in academics. I got more restroom breaks than everybody because when we used the pencil, my whole palm side of my hand had lead all on it. So I got to take them extra breaks. You know how we write, us lefties. So I got to take extra restroom breaks to go wash my hands. So I created lefty. It's a gift being a lefty in school. I leveraged that.
Well, I know we didn't have left hand desk. You know how you had to.
We sure did not, or books. I gotta have the spiral notebooks. I don't know if y'all, if people who are left-handed can relate. I need spiral notebooks so I can fold the other page because I'm smearing everything.
Lord Jesus. And guys, again, pardon me, y'all. We came with the energy now on this one, but I normally tell y'all how I meet every guest. I actually met her at a DMV Next Level Speakers chapter maybe a few weeks ago. Shout out to the DMV Next Level Speakers chapter with the leadership of VJ Page and Wynette Richardson and Latasha. So shout out to you guys. I mean,
Good people.
When I met you there, and you got up and speak and stuff, y'all, I thought she was over here in DMV. She said, "No, I flew." You flew where? That's why I was like, what? But that just goes to show you how dedicated you are to your craft, to your personal development. Because you in Ohio. Because I was just like, oh, she DMV. I'm about to go get me some ball, get my some shoes, and
right. We go to the gym.
I still got it. But so yeah, so let's so I wanted to say that I had to put that out there how I met her, and so we've been connected ever since. And here's another thing too, I've been seeing you on social media as well. One of the things I do, I always ask God to connect me with the right people. Like I would do a solo podcast before I just be bringing anybody up here, and so I'm very intentional. And I just I see your consistency. posting the content and I said, oh, she really got this, and she a coach. She actually a coach of the basketball team. So just seeing you in your gifts and of course we're gonna learn a little bit more about the entrepreneur side. I didn't even know you doing real estate too. Like,
Yeah.
how okay, first of all, take us back. Okay, you said you 10 years ago you started going to entrepreneurship, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And so tell me how that journey played out, because I know you also was a head coach.
Yep. And it's very timely too, because and for people who are listening, especially young people who may hear this, or parents of young people, or aunties of young people, just understand, like, when we graduated from college, we still have no clue what we truly want to do.
Yep.
Because we just was in the academic part of learning. We spent 2 years just in general education. So they asked me, what did I want for my gift, my graduation gift? When you the first graduate in your family to graduate from college, everybody want to pull up. They want to see what's going on. We had a party and all that. We're going to celebrate. But I told my parents, I said, hey, listen, I just want to sleep in for 6 months and figure this out. That's my gift. I don't need no money. I don't need anything. I just want to sleep in. And here's why I said sleep in. We practiced my junior and senior year in college. We were practicing at 5:00 in the morning. This was before class. We had mandatory breakfast. I mean, the schedule of a NCAA athlete at a high level, I mean, you just want to sleep. You just want to take a nap. So I already knew, for me, leaving college, all of my life was consumed with being a part of a team, number one. Number two, I was always in uniform. I always had to be in uniform. See, this is pieces I believe as athletes leave the game, and it's a much deeper conversation when we talk about that leaving the game depression, that identity crisis, when athletes leave and we can no longer play anymore. We're out of eligibility and we don't know what to do with our life, and we have this energy about ourselves. Well, if you look, they always have big major corporations recruiting people who want to be in the sales arena. I mean, you have recruiter after recruiter. Hey, you want to be in insurance. Hey, you want to be in this type of sales. And so I knew that our work ethic as athletes, we could go out and sell. We could go out and create culture. But I just didn't want to be in uniform. I just did not want to be on somebody else's time clock, because I already did that. I had went through that journey. So leaving college, I just wanted to lay down, sleep, and figure out what I wanted to do. But fortunately, about 30 days after college, I got introduced to the industry of network marketing. And at that time, network marketing, let me tell you, this is the pre-COVID. I think we got two lives now. Everything that was pre-COVID and post-COVID. So pre-COVID, I mean, people were traveling, people were having a good time. And see, I had traveled, but it wasn't leisure. So I ended up joining this travel company, and I had never been, Coach Tressa, you gonna get this entrepreneurial thing right here. I had never been on a plane before, but was the number one sales rep in the state of Ohio as a young professional, promoting a travel membership, somebody else's product and service. But I was getting a 1099. I was an independent contractor. I was a new entrepreneur at the age of 22. And all they shared with me was, if you can share our vision, our product, our service, and incorporate your story into it, you can create a movement. And so for 8 years, that was my journey. And I traveled the country, not only building sales teams, inspiring people to add a 5 to 9 on top of their 9 to 5. I was inspiring people to do that, telling my story as an athlete, and how, it's the fourth quarter that we're in right now, recording this podcast, and how you could push through into a whole new year and it could look different. I was going around teaching people how to create priceless memories with their families. I was going around also teaching them how to add an extra $3,000 to $5,000 into their household, where mom could probably stay home with the kids, or dad, and they could create more memories with their family. So I got passionate. I was convicted about that. And I wasn't convicted because I had done it. I was convicted because our family wasn't able to do it. And so I want to inspire other families to use that vehicle to start creating those priceless memories and having that, supplemental income. So that created a sales team of over 8 years of about 10,000 families. And so my job was just to go to different markets and launch markets and mentor markets. And so I started training and speaking corporately for that company. But then God.
Say it again.
But then God. And I remember in college, I had wrote in my notebook, in my diary, of some goals that I had. And this was from a what we call those senior practicums where they're preparing you for adult life, and or you're in a class where you're focused in your major and they're really trying to, pinpoint, okay, where are you going to go when you leave here? And I had wrote that I wanted to be a head coach by the age of 30, but I knew something had to shift in my commitment if I was going to achieve that goal. So I stepped away and resigned from my business to pursue. Now, this is crazy because I knew something in me was like, you got to go after what you wrote down. You wrote the vision and making it plain years ago. And I was so focused on building somebody else's stuff that I started to forget about the goals that I wrote down for me, what I wanted for my legacy, how I wanted to be remembered. So I decided to step away from that book of business. And Coach Tressa, you're not going to believe this. 18 months later, that company no longer existed. And so I knew I was in alignment with where God had me at that time. I knew, and a lot of people still ask me today, like, how did you know? And I said, I was just so locked in on what I truly wanted to do with my life. When I was a junior, senior in college, I knew I wanted to coach. So at 30, I became a high school head coach for the very first time. And I was able to do it at a private Christian high school in Columbus, Ohio. And at that time, I think my greatest joy during that is seeing, 5 of my student athletes get baptized on game day. They hit the reset button, coach. You talking about motivation on game day. So I was able to really see that, oh man, we can transform these young ladies' lives. And I was excited about that journey. And so I went on a journey to coaching for 13 years straight. I've assisted at some programs, been a head coach at 3 different high schools. And I've been able to flow in a unique perspective when it comes to motivating and inspiring not only young ladies, but now young women. I got kids that I've coached who are married with families now. I said, y'all beat me to the punch. It's a testament to really, truly walking in your call and not really chasing the bag. The bag's going to show up. The bag's going to show up as long as you stay committed to who you said you were going to be. And I get more invites to baby showers. I get invites to weddings. Like, these are kids that I coach. I was yelling at y'all 5 years ago. Now we at your baby shower.
Wow.
And so I just got convicted about really, truly inspiring young people that whatever it is that you want to do in life, man, just go do it. Just go do it. No strings attached. Just go do it. And take that. And if you're an athlete, you're a student athlete, and you take that same approach that we take in the gym or on the field or on the court, if you take that approach, you're unstoppable. You're going to create championship experiences every single day.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Have you wrote a book yet? Because you need to.
We working on it.
You need to. First of all, 8 years in network level marketing. And I've heard people who've done it and they're successful, but I also heard people who fail at it because they didn't put the work in.
Yeah. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's simple, but it wasn't easy. It was very hard for me to, number one, not necessarily have the resources. And that, as an entrepreneur, you got to have those resources. So I wasn't taught marketing budget. I wasn't taught any of that type of stuff. And Coach Tressa, I'm gonna be honest, I made a lot of money.
That's why I was going to say, how did you just say, I know you trusted God, which we all should be doing that.
Yeah.
I would say obedience bursts favor. So when you saw in your notebook that vision you had wrote down when you was in school, in college, and then you was like, man, I got to go. Like they say, Jeremiah 29:11, for he know the plans. He already know, right? And you was at the 8 years. I can only assume, you were making more money than you ever made before.
Woo.
Because when you make money, I hate to say this, y'all, but listen, y'all know when you make money, it puts you in a different level of confidence and the stress.
Yeah,
You ain't stressing about making a payment arrangement.
at all.
Gotta rob Peter to pay Paul. Because reason why I want to talk about a little bit about that, because I know a lot of entrepreneurs are sometimes working a 9 to 5. I know you are already an entrepreneur though, but sometimes they're working like even a 9 to 5 and they're ready to make a leap of faith and just go after it. But then they don't have no, let's say, nest
Listen.
egg.
Yep.
So did you already was pre-planning, like, okay, let me get some couple more deals? Like, what did that
Mhm.
structure look like before you went all into the coaching?
Now, what I knew is, see, where I was in my company, I was earning a what you call a residual check, and my residual check monthly, because I had built it for 8 years, was bigger than what my friends were making working 40 hours a week, uh, 4 weeks a month. And so that income, because I hadn't had fun a whole lot. I mean, it was about business when I was playing college basketball. So I wanted to go to Vegas. I wanted to go to South Beach. I wanted to go kick it. So I blew a lot of money. I was not a good steward of my finances in network marketing. I mean, I went and got, I was driving the luxury car, living in the, high rise loft, things like that, but I wasn't a steward. When I go back, because I'm in real estate and I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Ohio, I'm like, I should have bought 2 condos. I should, but nobody tells us that until we run into mentorship. And so I
Mm,
wasn't prepared as an entrepreneur. And here's the other piece. Nobody who was working a traditional job at the time could really teach me because I hadn't done that either. That was tough.
wow.
So
Yeah.
when I talk to people who are working that traditional job, that's a safety net. And the people who aspire to be entrepreneurs, it's a safety net that they have, because it's consistency. I know next month I'm going to get this paycheck, or next week. Well, in network marketing, when I built it, I knew on the 15th of every month I was going to get a check, triple all of my bills. Here's the difference. This is where I share with people, aspiring entrepreneurs who are working a 9 to 5. When I tell people, don't compare your story to other people's. Your story is going to be different. And people were looking at me at 22, 23, 24, like, oh, she not a careless life. I didn't have any debt. I didn't graduate with debt. So
Wow.
so everything that I made was profit. And if I wanted to add expense, that was me adding the expense, a car payment, renting a nice quality loft. Those things were added expenses, but I didn't have any debt. The only person I was going owe is them alphabet boys, the I to R to S. So I had to learn how to pay taxes, how to prepare, how to be more organized, putting up a certain amount. But I didn't learn that till like 5 years in. So I was just paying. So I encourage people, have, 3 to 6 months of all of your living expenses saved up when you're ready to launch, because it takes energy to launch your business.
Mm-hmm.
And the expenses that I traveled across the country going to launch, teams and, different cities, and just spending that overhead money. We don't calculate that. We calculate what's coming in,
Yep.
but we don't calculate what's going out to really build the business. And that's why I say it is simple, and is not easy, but it's very hard on the money management side,
Right.
transitioning from a consistent paycheck every single week or every single month to now I'm going to eat based off of what I go out and kill, what I go out and do. So that effort based income is different when you've only been getting paid off of time.
Yes.
And what's hard for a lot of people, and I know you can relate to this as well, especially with some of your background in HR and some of those things, all skill sets aren't created equal.
No.
So a lot of my employee mindset, or they just have that lifestyle and they aspire to be entrepreneurs, what frustrates you probably the most, and that was something for me, like I knew I worked harder than my teammates, but we got the same scholarship money. Now in 2024, let me tell you, Coach Tressa, if I was playing college ball in 20, I'd be getting the bag. They got this stuff called NIL where they paying athletes now. Oh, I
Yeah,
would have had the
I
bag.
saw that. What? So
I
what
would
is
have had
that?
the bag.
What does
It
that
is
mean?
called, so there's a scripture that said we were made in his image and likeness, right?
Uh huh.
NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. So the NCAA, college athletics, they've now made it able for, let's use, I don't even want to give credit to company names or anything like that, but let's just say BMW. That was a car that I had at 23 years old. So BMW says, hey, Coach Tressa, we see that you a junior at your school and you a point guard, you 5'1", and you go and get recruited to a what we call a P5 institution, like a South Carolina or a Tennessee or school or a Maryland, schools like that. And because you're already a brand, this is why I talk to young people about branding, because you're a brand and you swaggy and you're getting ready to come into that institution and make impact, meaning you're going to sell tickets, your brand helps sell tickets to that university. BMW, they might be the featured, let's say, car dealership closest to the college. And they said, you know what? That Coach Tressa, she done came to this school and look, we selling out games. We're a sponsor. We're going to offer her a name, image, and likeness package. So BMW might say, hey, come shoot a commercial with us. Now, they don't let you use the jersey of the college. It's your brand. It's your name, your image, and your likeness, not the college. So they're going to put you in a BMW and you might shoot a commercial for them and they're going to pay you while you in school. Oh, I would have got a bag.
That's why all these college kids right now getting millions.
That's why they moving around, because they chasing the bag, because other schools have more money than others and have more power. So you can go to a school right now. I know a young lady making $25,000 a year based off of her name, image, and likeness at her institution, just playing basketball. The football, what's going on in football? Oh, they offer somebody like 10 million. I was just reading it on social media to go to another school. So people are really getting paid off of their name, image, and likeness. And this is where, as an entrepreneur in 2024, you got to get excited for those young people, because now it's about branding. Now it's about your image. Now you have to be very cautious of what you put out publicly and what, you gotta really hone in on your personal growth and development as a young entrepreneur, because these babies, they're 18 years old making millions. And the women, oh, we starting to get paid. That's why I said, listen, I can't wave nobody's flag, Coach Tressa. I got to step away from coaching and hone in on what's going on in the landscape of women's athletics. And that's where I'm in the speaking space now, is working with empowering programs all across the country, coaches, consulting. And then when I'm in my home base, I'm selling real estate, empowering home ownership.
Y'all, we're following her journey. Now you adding more jobs to this roster. So we done went from network marketing, bam, that's done.
Yep.
You heard you was obedient to God. Then you did head coaching for a couple of years in high school. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out when, because I can hear the motivation in your voice. I know you got it. I can just tell off the rip was this interview with the energy. So what came next? Was it when you realized, okay, I want to go into more speaking? Because you keep saying something about real estate too.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that. But I do, because of how I connected with you and then how we connected. I think there's a point in saying that I was a head coach. I coached some years at some different schools, but I was on what they call Twitter, or X now, and I was promoting my alma mater. Every time I seen them, okay, ladies, let's get it. And I started this hashtag that said hashtag don't sleep on JUCO. And what that means is junior college, because I played 2 years of junior college before I went on to my 4-year university. So I went to a local community college in Dayton, Ohio, played basketball there because I felt my potential wasn't met when I was a junior. Kind of like you were talking about, I did get playing time. I did do the necessary things, but I just felt my environment wasn't able to grow. Like, I had outgrew my environment. So I needed 2 more years to go rebrand myself. And so I looked at it as a business. So I went 2 and 2, hence my social media handle. I went 2 and 2, and I was number 22 because I was showing people how you can make a 2-year decision, but you might not be able to make a 4-year decision. And that's huge for entrepreneurs as well. So in that journey, I was on Twitter, as they call it at the time, and I was promoting my junior college, place that gave me my roots, place that grew me up. And I get an inbox from the head coach saying, can we meet? Long story short, I became the associate head coach there and the recruiting coordinator for the college that grew me up. And so I was a player there and then became an assistant coach. And we went on to an amazing journey, winning 28 games, ranked nationally ranked, traveled all across the country. And in that season, this is the point I want to drive home. I got that college coaching opportunity. I was only high school. I got a college job off of social media.
Talk about it.
Social media. Showing love, supporting, and being authentic to who you are. Staying true to who you are. Just following the energy. So as an entrepreneur, that's a note there. That is a bar. Like, you don't know who's watching you. You might be supporting somebody, and the very person that you support might reciprocate it back with a whole opportunity. This is what I see going on with Coach Tressa, y'all. Like, she is reaching out and impacting, using her vision and her voice and her brand to really pour into people and be able to share their story. I'm truly honored to have that opportunity today. So as I shared that journey on that story, I did pause and I said, God, I can't say no to that. This is where I played. Let me go back and help these young ladies. So we went on not to do, they always say, leave it better than you found it. Oh, what I did as a player, we tripled that when I was on the staff. I said, let me tell y'all something. This is what we did, but this is what y'all gonna do. And I'm here to support y'all. Now, we went on that journey that one season. Now we're getting to a pivotal turning point. That season, once that season was over, I had got a call to come back to high school. And it was a price, to be honest. It was an opportunity. The package, they packaged it so well, I could not turn it down. And I went back to high school for 1 year and in Columbus, Ohio. So I was moving, different cities, coaching though. It was my passion. Where's the money coming from? Well, I had enough saved up, entrepreneur. I start saving that money. Well, here's what happened. Something called the pandemic. Now remember, I was in a travel company. Nobody was going anywhere. Everything was shut down. We locked down. So I couldn't go back and reignite that. But I had this energy about myself going from, I live in Springfield, which Dayton and Columbus, Ohio, separate, like Springfield's right in the middle. It's a hub city. Okay. So every day I'm going left or right doing business. There's not a whole lot in Springfield, but every day I'm going east, west, left, right, doing business. And I said, you know what? While we're locked down and I can't go anywhere, let me see what online education got for me. And I'm just researching. I found myself in 3 weeks achieving a real estate license. Over 120 hours in class. I just got laser focused. And when you're in that entrepreneur mindset, when you got that, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, the skill sets carry over the same. It's the discipline of it. It's the being a steward of your finances. And when I looked at real estate, I said, hold up, these are the checks that I used to get in my other company. Sell one house. So I started calculating. I'm going to calculate my check before I ever even enter the field. I'm going to figure out if this is worth it for my conviction. I have to be convicted about it. And so we're back in this same saddle of, I was selling a travel membership and never been on a plane. Guess what I'll tell you today? I sell real estate. I haven't bought a house. I'm convicted about it though, because I grew up with stability where my parents bought a house. My grandfather hasn't had a mortgage in over 50 years. I have watched. But because I moved so much in the coaching journey, I don't know if you know coaches, we move a lot based on opportunities. So I never had a real place where I wanted to settle down. So that's what stopped it. It wasn't the resources or anything like that. It was, I just didn't know where God was calling me to be at that time. So real estate came from the pandemic, me understanding that I had to continue to lift the bar and open up the ceilings of not just sports, but if you're going to be in sales and you're going to be inspiring and talking to entrepreneurs, let's create another avenue that you can empower people to do that same thing. I can run into somebody in the grocery store that has a skill set, and I said, you need to get your real estate license. So I can empower that way and show them a tool on how to be successful at it. I'm not in love with real estate, but I understand that if you put a young person in a house, in a family, even if they're struggling financially, and that single mom or that parent or that household, they can own a home, it brings stability to that childhood. And I had that. I was raised with that type of stability. So I am convicted about inspiring people that own that home. So that's where the real estate came from.
Listen, girl, I thought about doing real estate one time. I said, well, shoot, if I do I've been doing recruiting and being a headhunter because them headhunter checks, shoot.
Woo, woo. It's all the same, isn't it?
Listen, and that's why I tell people, yes, a 9 to 5, you getting, like that time work, right? When you're a commission base,
Woo,
you gotta produce.
woo.
You have to
Absolutely.
produce, and if you don't produce, you don't eat. So I understand, and that's how it was when I was doing strictly, just doing headhunting and finding these talent for these open positions. But
Wow.
it's a grind.
That's huge. And when I think about real estate specifically and entrepreneurship, because, a lot of people don't know how we get paid with real estate. You have to be attached to what we call a real estate broker or brokerage. And so your checks our checks don't come with our name on them. It comes to the brokerage. Then it's distributed back to you as the sales rep. We're licensed salespeople at the end of the day. That is what our license, that is the verbiage on our license. But here's where I started to understand that real estate language, because it wasn't real estate per se, it was this one word. And I'm going to share this one word with everybody who wants to be an entrepreneur or is an entrepreneur. It's called procurement. If you in business, if you can procure, meaning, what does that mean? About 90% of my business I have procured. I used what we call my sphere of influence. See, if I can coach, if you trust me with your daughter in the 5th grade, dribbling the basketball 2 hours, 3 times a week in a gym, you're going to trust me to sell you a house. You trust me with your kids, you're going to trust me showing you a house. So I knew that my sphere of influence, if I put it into an arena, another entrepreneurship arena, building that credibility and things over the years, then I could serve at a higher capacity that's not just serving the kids, I can serve my parents as well.
Wow. Wow.
And so it kind of went hand in hand. And it was just an arena that I said, you know what, I grew up in it. Let me go show people how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you still coaching today?
I am consulting.
Okay.
So I am now a consultant for a few colleges and universities. And, even tonight I'm going into a high school and working with the young people and the coaching staffs about how to maximize their peak performance and also how to reduce injury being a young female athlete, how to reduce the impact on their body, because I went through some trials and errors too with injuries, tore my ACL, went through all of that in college. But now it has to be taught, and it has to be taught. A lot of times in life, we can listen to things, but it's nothing like listening to somebody who's already been through it. I got the scars to prove it.
Right.
And so now it was hard for me because of my schedule to wave my flag just at one school, because I had different schools. Hey, can you come in and do this? Can you come in? Can you come speak here? And God was just like, it's time. You coached for 13 years. You can always go back, but there's no time like the present. And I was on this journey at 30. I wanted to become a head coach by 30. And I said, Jesus lived his greatest years between 30 and 33. And those 3 years, I was extremely obedient with the call that I had on my life. And I just knew when I made that goal in college by 30, I wanted to be a head coach. I just kept on moving. I'm 36 now. I don't care about my age. I'm 36 now. And man, there's some goals by 40. So I decided, like, hey, let's go. We got 3 more years to create some more championship experiences for people, but it's my time now. I'm in a very selfish entrepreneurial season for me, because I've spent my entire life serving so many families, so many young people, and to see them grow up and do all those things, like now I'm on the other side of it. I really want to teach people how that stuff was achieved.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Listen, that is so amazing. I'm doing a training tonight teaching people how to monetize as a successful coach or consultant, because
Wow.
here's the thing too, like with coaching, first of all, as a coach, you got to be a motivator. You,
Woo!
you know,
Every day.
every day.
Every day.
Every day. I don't care if you're a head coach, financial coach, fitness coach, motivational coach, confidence coach. You're a motivator. You have to, you provide the playbook, but you provide impact. Because whether it's a student
Yep.
or a client or a customer, whoever, they have to feel inspired, like they trust the coach's play.
Yep. You gotta sell them to show up. Then you gotta sell them to play full out.
Like for me, when I'm not coaching, I'm consulting.
Yep.
Because that's a bill rate.
Absolutely.
You already know.
Let me tell you.
This is a 1099 rate. So you already know you ain't paying my insurance. So this is gonna be the rate for me to come in and consult for your retention and talent acquisition.
And you know what? If I was your coach back in your junior year, you'd have played your senior year, Coach Tressa. You would have played. I'd have had you on that squad. You wasn't gonna go cheerlead. I'm like, look, I'm gonna get you some pom poms. You might sit over here a little bit, but you was gonna be on our team because I'd have sold you with, listen, that cheerleading coach ain't gonna write you no letter of recommendation like I'm gonna write. I'm gonna get you in school. Whether you the manager, whether you whoever, I'm gonna get you in school. So no, you're right. You got to resell people every single day when you coach it. Like it's a big deal.
But what if I would have said, Coach Rowe, listen, I don't want to play basketball no more. I feel like I'm not growing no tall. All my teammates are taller than me, and I just want to do cheerleading.
I would have said, don't let that sport use you. You got to use that sport as the tool. So what's the end game for that cheerleading? Like what are we ultimately going to accomplish? Because and I'm biased for sure, but I knew what basketball could teach. I knew basketball taught us, here's where we switch over from being, that steady 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship. Here's what basketball taught me inside of that. Because we see it every day. It's just sometimes in life, we got to pause. We could be in a grocery store and a whole life lesson happened. But we so busy in the hustle and bustle of trying to get from A to B. That's why I love being an entrepreneur. I'm probably the person that they blow at out in the street while I'm driving because I don't have to be nowhere at a certain time, anytime. And I'm just out, joyriding, looking around, enjoying the scenery. And y'all blowing at me to hurry up because you got to get somewhere. We miss these moments in life. And I would have told you, we're going to take this moment and we was going to maximize it. Your senior year, I want to be able to promote you as a finisher. See, that's how I'd have had you. Oh. You'd have been on that squad. Like, listen, the culture says you're a finisher. So let's figure out how to do both. Don't limit yourself. Let's do both. Because basketball, we can use that as a tool. Now in 2024, you can get paid off of it in a whole different way. So I'd have had you on that roster senior year. I'd have been like, you could be cute. You could walk out with your stilettos on senior day. We're going to do all of that. We're going to make it cute. Here's another thing, Coach. If anybody knows me and those who have seen me coach and those who know my coaching style, I've never sat down coaching as a head coach and I'm always in heels. I've never worn flats coaching as a head coach. And so if my feet gonna hurt, Coach Tressa, because I'm trying to be cute with y'all, you ain't got to cheer. You can stay over here and be cute with all us. But that is I do coach in heels. It's a motto. It's a culture. It's a trend for me. And I got all different types, but I felt that was something in my brand as an entrepreneur because you never know who's in the stands. It could be your next client, your next customer. So I don't dress for the job that I have or the business that I have. I dress for the lifestyle that I want.
Right. Yeah, I like that. And I see you got your creating championship experiences.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you come up with that tagline?
Man, you know what? Through some mentorship, number one, but even with real estate, that's my motto. Because when I get you to the closing table, baby, guess what? I got gifts. I bought one of my clients, she got the Black Girl Magic wine collection. Okay. They got that whole wine collection because she was a single female that just went through some things, some health issues. She said, I'm gonna buy a house, and we went through some things to get her there. But I felt like at that closing table is the same type of joy, the same type of fulfillment. So when I looked at myself as an entrepreneur over my journey, what has it been? It's not created. It is not create, because that's where we started. Created, that's past tense. We done. We are always creating. And as an entrepreneur, you got to tap into that creative side of you. But what type of creativity are you going to bring to people? I want the championship experience. And whenever you think about a championship, it is a positive, high level, high energy experience.
Yes.
And it's something that people will never forget.
That part, I love it. That's why I was like, okay, she's showing up with her brand.
I appreciate it. Hey, we're gonna be in some t-shirts and some Nikes. That's how I met you. I was in some Nikes and a t-shirt. But that's what we gonna do. But that's
Hey,
what's
that's what I said.
exciting.
You got the curls for the girls today. I said, okay.
Absolutely. But that's what's exciting about being an entrepreneur too. You get to create your brand.
Yeah.
You get to do what you're passionate about. Everybody know I'm gonna have my Nikes and I'm gonna have my t-shirt on, but I'm gonna have my hair done, my nails done too.
Yeah. And look, you're gonna have to send me your EPK or whatever you had. Cause look, I'm look. So since I'm an entrepreneur, I be doing business development. Let me be networking. I know somebody can use your services out here. You be flying
Absolutely.
back to DC. Look, I just need my 10%, 12%, whatever the fee.
Hey, whatever we do. Whatever we do. Here's what's unique about what you just said. I have a young lady today. We met at a conference. I was out marketing real estate. She had a booth next to mine. And she was telling me about her brand, how she motivates young girls in the game of basketball. Now, I was like, you got my wheels turning. So I go in and speak tonight. Guess who's my special guest? I'm bringing that young lady with me, and she is like my hype man. She's the motivator. She has a company that just strictly motivates girls in basketball. Because when you're coaching and teaching, sometimes it's hard to teach, especially with young people, the energy, the reciprocated energy, because they're learning. So she's coming in, but being what we call the hype man tonight. And I'm actually motivating them, but I'm physically taking them through a workout. So I get the best of both worlds with that. I get to push you mentally, but I get to push you physically. My job is to make them connect so we can create that peak performance for you. And as a young lady, when you don't have to turn your switch off and you know how to keep it on, we're unstoppable.
Well, you listen. If resilience was a person, we're looking at it right now. If keep going was a person, you're looking at it right now. I mean, just to see, and I know you said your age. I'm 10 years older than you, 46. So
okay, you young. Okay, youngin.
just to see what you've done at your age right now. Oh my gosh. I already know. Let me tell you something. And I used to say this when I moved by to say it. 2025 is gonna blow your mind.
I received that.
Blow your mind. I'm telling you.
I received that.
You do this podcast a year from now, you're gonna be like, girl, I'm over here traveling, I'm in Texas, and you're doing what you love to do, which is that speaking, the coaching, the consulting on the stage with the women athletes. Like, it's gonna blow your mind. You have already shown what it means to be obedient, what it means to trust and have faith, what it means to lead with confidence, to lead with clarity, and everything that and lead by conviction. Ooh, look at them C's. Clarity, confidence, and conviction.
Ooh, that's a whole course. That's a whole course, coach.
But you just shown that, and just to hear your story and everything that you're doing, I see a book. Maybe it's a workbook. Now, when you have that book or that workbook, and as you're going into these schools, even corporate, corporate, and the only reason I say that is because a lot of these companies, like when I went to DHL, a lot of these well-known companies have what you call ERGs, employee resource groups.
Okay.
And so, especially with women groups, and a lot of times companies are investing speakers and those to come in and talk about imposter syndrome, confidence, burnout, because sometimes women sometimes don't feel, not saying men don't do it either, but women
Right.
is different, and so I just see it. So that's when I say 2025 is going to blow your mind. Whatever you've been asking God for, continue to meditate on it, continue to pray on it. You're a visionary. We already know this. You write the vision, make it plain.
Wear it on my chest too.
That part. That part.
I
So
appreciate that.
right, and here's the thing: whatever goals, I know you have goals, whether it's career goals, business goals, entrepreneurial goals. Even if you have a money goal, I don't know if you write down your money goal that you like
Yeah.
to have. I want you to be bold with that money goal. Whatever that number is, double it.
Okay.
And I'm not. A reason why I say that is because sometimes we'll do a number where we know that it's achievable, which is good because we want to make smart goals. What they say,
Yeah.
smart goals.
Yep.
But this last week, and I'm sharing this publicly right now, but in the last week I've been praying, and on 2 separate days a word came to me in my prayer meditation. One word. Last Monday God just kept saying prepare. I'm like, well, what am I preparing for? Like, and I'll be talking to God like, God, what's what? So sometimes I have to be quiet and silence the noise to hear what does prepare mean. 3 days ago, I'm literally in a moment and I'm just in my zone, cleaning and listening to music. The word came to me, said radical.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe those 2 words were supposed to be for me to tell you today. Cause again, I'm very intimate with my time with God and I don't share a lot of things. And I was going like, okay, God, I literally wrote down on my refrigerator, prepare and radical. What does this mean?
Now are we time stamping this? Cause I got confirmation on this.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the time stamp?
I posted on social media this morning, on Facebook specifically. And I wrote a few things that I had. It was a big day today, etc. But here was the quote I put at the end. And this was my quote. Eliminate the noise, turn up the volume. And everything you just said was confirmation, because that's what I felt in my spirit this morning. Eliminate the noise, but turn up the volume. And when you talked about doubling it, see, in real estate, we talk about revenue and sales volume. So there's a lot of things that the word volume could stand for. You were talking about, I don't know if you have a money goal. That was the last thing you said, if you double it. But I literally posted that on social media this morning. Eliminate the noise, turn up the volume. So that just gave me confirmation. So I appreciate you being obedient in your meditation time, prayer time as well. Because I've been feeling that. It's fourth quarter right now. We build in 2025.
Yes. And our business will thrive in 2025.
Thrive in 25.
Listen. Publicly, like I said, I just felt compelled to share those 2 words with you.
Awesome. I received that.
Yeah, radical. So that's right there. It's time to get radical for what and be bold about it. I'm definitely so happy that we're connected because this ain't gonna be the last time. I feel like in my spirit, I always say in this season, my assignment is in my alignment. I'm always intentional who I'm connecting and associating myself with. And I just see definitely opportunities. And here's the thing. I want to be able to, I always say, God, in my convicted to growth moment, allow me to be a vessel. Be a vessel, be a connector where I'm able to help connect and collaborate with others. And so that's why I said I definitely need to get your EPK or whatever you have, whatever services, your topics and things like that. What's your fees and all that costs? Give me the 2024 price.
Okay.
Because I know next year.
Oh yeah, we going up on a Tuesday.
So what's this? So what? Tell the people what can we expect? I mean, what's in the pipeline?
Man, 2025, again, going at the end of 2023, I made a declaration for myself that I was going to spend more time focusing on the things that God had put on my heart versus stopping what I'm doing to tend to everybody else. I've already been in that season where I was growing everybody else's stuff and I couldn't control, the outlook on it. So I said, you know what, let me launch. And so a lot of people start a business
Mm-hmm.
or coming out or based on how I started entrepreneurship, I joined a business.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know you can do that too. You don't always have to start a business. You could join a business in a box. And
Yep.
it's all kind of done for you, the systems and
Yep.
everything. So instead of starting and instead of joining a business, my plan in 2025 is we on the runway right now. We on the runway. We launching 2025.
I love it.
So what I see for that, I'm building out some things right now that is going to serve the mass majority of student athletes, coaches, and really focusing on supporting the people who have supported me, but also partnering with them. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
There's support and then there's partnership. Those are two different things. And so going into 2025, listen, we're gonna thrive in 2025. We got some big plans. I just hired a accountant. I'm getting ready. Getting ready.
Yes.
You can't prepare for increase and not know how to calculate it, account for it. So yeah, so just putting the proper pieces in place to really systematize some of the things that I would love to do long term and really getting this story on paper. And we talking about from basketball to being in boardrooms. So there's something coming.
Ooh, I'm already looking at the book cover. Ooh,
Yep,
I can see
yep,
like a half of you with the jersey on and the other
yep.
half with the business suit.
Listen, on a photo, wait, I got the heel on the basketball. Ooh. It's all logo. I saw everything already made. And then because I follow you. I listen.
You
And
follow my Instagram?
I listen to your podcast and I can't wait to be front row at the Convicted to Grow conference. Where we gonna be? I just need to know the city because I'll hop on a plane in a minute. The Convicted to Grow conference.
Come on. Yes. What's crazy is I'm in this year and I'm manifesting this thing.
Okay. All
And
right.
listen, I'm working on it. I'm not like, God, okay, God, I'm out here putting this stuff out here in this atmosphere.
Yep.
But I'm gonna show people what it means to trust God.
Hey.
And yeah. I'm working. I just told, matter of fact, Wynette, I was telling her on Saturday, I was like, I see sponsors. I don't know who they are.
Mm,
Crazy how
mm.
I see things. God is giving these little drops of things, these visions of like the National Harbor.
Wow.
Crazy. Maybe that's
Wow.
why a little radical. It's radical because I haven't, and I'm already seeing my birthday. My birthday is May 31st, and I'm looking at the
Okay.
30th and the 31st, a 2-day event. I
Wow.
see an all green affair that night.
Wow.
It's like, green is prosperity, green is
Yep.
health and wealth. And there's a lot of conferences out here
Mm-hmm.
that's motivation,
Yep.
inspiration. What
Yep.
would set me apart? Okay, I want to have the ultimate business growth and networking experience because
Wow.
yes, I can motivate, but I want
Yep.
you to leave with some tangible tools that you're gonna grow. And so I'm speaking to some sponsors so
That's
that way
huge.
drive the cost down.
That's huge. Hey, you know what I just heard when you were talking about your vision? You talking about the green and everything like that? First of all, I saw you walking out because if y'all ever got to experience Coach Tressa walking up to the front of the room with energy, swag. Oh, she gonna be in the room. So either she gonna have on that green or the nails gonna be green. We don't know, but it's gonna be accessorized the right way. But what I'm hearing is Convicted to Grow conference, and you talking about sponsorship. A lot of times people go to conferences. You said that there's a lot of conferences out. They go to conferences. You're gonna have the one where you grow through conferences because there's a lot of motivation ones. I've been through a lot of personal growth and
Me
development.
too. Me too.
People go to conferences, but do they grow to conferences? You can have that one. I ain't gonna charge you.
Man, listen.
You
Ooh.
can have that one.
And
Growth
girl,
and
and
conferences.
I gotta have you. Look, I know you talk to athletes, but I'm gonna need you to talk to these entrepreneurs because you got a daggone story. And like you said, you could be an entrepreneur by joining a business. It don't have
Yeah.
to. And what's crazy is, I told somebody, I said, I see Convicted to Grow being a platform of coaches. Men,
Mm.
I'm thinking
Yes.
business mindset
This,
where you know how you have better help. They
yep.
need you go in there. What kind of therapist you need? You need this. You
Yep.
need. Listen, why I gotta be just stop with me? I want to be able to create something where, hey, you need a financial coach. Okay, you're your own business, you're doing your own thing, but I have a platform of coaches who've been vetted.
That's huge. And you know what we do in the coaching world on the sports side? We host these things called coaching clinics where we teach coaching culture and X's and O's and strategies and all that and all the coaches. And some people go and grab a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a buffet, but we do coaching clinics. And so I do speak at some of those every now and again. And
Yeah,
to see that in the coaching world, like my entrepreneurial mindset is always moving when I see stuff like that. Going to personal development conferences, then turn around going to a real estate conference where they talking about the power of sales and conviction.
yeah.
Then I turn around and go to a coaching clinic where I get to wear my Nikes and I get to wear my sweats. You know, that's the dress down one. And they sitting here talking about how to execute a championship mindset from a dry erase board, how to communicate it.
This is why I gotta have you. See,
I'm
this is
like,
what I'm talking about. This is why you got to be a part of it. Like, but you see how you got nuggets from every one of them. Because here's the thing: most entrepreneurs, let's just keep it real. Most entrepreneurs start off as solopreneurs. Every
mm-hmm.
solopreneurs, you just and
Yeah,
some solopreneurs need community, they need
yep,
confidence, and they really need. That's why when I tell you, oh my gosh, I said this last week when I say, girl, I went and bought ctgcommunity.com. Like
okay.
I'm getting because here's the thing. God has been telling me you need to launch this community. And when I say launch,
Huge.
I got the Instagram and I got the TikTok. No, it needs to
Launch.
go off the app. It needs to go off the app. You need to create a community where you have a
Wow,
portal with resources and I see me bringing in monthly
wow,
guest experts to talk about certain things. And
wow.
really truly taking them on their journey because a lot of solopreneurs are either still working a 9 to 5, they don't have a support team, they don't know, like you said, the finance piece, the sales piece.
Like those are huge because you think about an entrepreneurial conference and you have those coaches in there.
At first I was torn. I said, could I go the life route? Meaning maybe this
Yeah,
company got Convicted to Grow in life. But then, like I said, I feel like, okay, if I niche it to a certain group, it's still like, you still got to have
yeah,
a champion mindset.
yep,
You
yep.
still got to have, discipline and a commitment. So there's still things in life that, yes, but that will play a part of your entrepreneurship journey. So that's why I kind of want to lean it towards that versus saying, this is just
Right.
going to be a motivational conference.
It's your lane though. It's your lane and you in it, but you also was able to you're also sitting corporate advising corporate execs. And let's look at the W2 life. They want entrepreneurial minded people. They want people who are, self motivated, people who all the same skill sets you need to be an entrepreneur, except for you don't control it. They
Right.
want you to be a self starter. I'm the dork that reads like Indeed job descriptions because I want to see what people are really looking for when it comes to somebody who wants to sign their life away.
That part.
Yeah. So it keeps things in perspective for me of why I continue to choose to be that entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so that's this has been amazing. I definitely gotta bring you back.
I
And
appreciate you having me
it's,
on for
it's gonna be
sure.
a reason why you come to DC. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you.
Listen,
um,
DC, I've been DC what twice in the last couple months. So yeah, it's
really?
it's, it's gonna be the second home here in a little bit.
Yes,
I got some family up there, Winnette and BJ and them. So definitely.
yes. And listen, y'all, if y'all want to book her, I mean, she's doing schools, colleges. She'll do corporations. I mean, the lady has a sales mindset, leadership mindset. I mean, she could talk about. Give us all your topics you talk about.
Man, we talk about leadership development. Leadership matters. That's a huge topic. That can go corporate athletics, students, faculty, staff, wherever. We talk about being resilient, um, pushing through, pushing through just life's events, like using every life event as a springboard and not as a crutch. What else? Just that the faith journey,
Okay.
that faith journey of taking the leaps of faith, what that looks like. Some people take the baby steps of faith. Sometimes you got to take a leap, and what that looks like for your life. And those have been, and I gave this talk to Wynnette's college, her class a couple weeks ago. I talk about the finish and what the finish looks like if you're pursuing that championship life or business, what the finish looks like. And so that's a signature talk that I share with people on finishing. It is an art to finish. A lot of people start, but they have no clue on how to finish. Even in life, people are on their deathbed every single day wishing they had done this or shoulda, coulda, woulda. So what does the finish look like for us? So that's what I really get convicted about, is the finish.
I like that. Listen, y'all see the information, but if you're on the audio side, you go to Coach Rowe Speaks. And I'm going to have this in the description as well as in the show notes. But to book her to be speaker, facilitator, consultant, coach.
I sat on some panels too, Coach. I
Oh,
sit on some
panels.
panels
Okay.
too. Panelists, yep.
Okay, y'all hear that?
Representing the
And
ladies, especially when they do their DEI and they, represent the minority, female, things like that. Oh yeah, I've sat on some panels recently, so those
oh
have been
yeah.
exciting with that
Okay.
variety.
Make sure you guys go pick her up on all social media platforms at Coach Row 22. That's Coach Row 22. And don't just go pick her up. Please make sure you go comment on one of her posts or reels and put hashtag convicted to grow. That way I know you came over from the podcast. And if she lets me know, you might get something special from me. So please make
Hey,
sure you do hashtag convicted to grow, just to show support. I always like for you guys to show love to the guests that I bring on because they don't have to do it, and I'm considered their time, but I do appreciate them making time for me and being a part of this first year journey of this podcast. Anything else before I ask you the last question?
Doc, go ahead. Let's fire it away.
All right, so my last question in 90 seconds or less, tell me, what does convicted to grow mean to you?
Wow, we covered a lot too. So
And listen, y'all,
listen.
she's the first in my Soldier Boy voice. She's the first that probably said convicted about 5 or 6 times in this interview.
Oh wow.
I ain't never heard nobody say as many times as you today. And that girl,
Oh wow.
we connected
That,
for life now.
that's huge. Convicted to grow. And I know some of you hear the word convicted, that the tense. I'm an English type of person too, but convicted to grow, that means there's some things that already have happened in your life. This is what it means to me. There's some chapters, there's some go throughs, there's some went throughs. Convicted to grow. So when I think about what does that mean, I have built up enough faith that all those things I went through are going to work out for my good. I don't have to carry those burdens. I'm using those burdens as tools, and those burdens or those trials or just any adversity that we went through created a conviction inside of us that shifted something and said, look, I can't stay here. I got to go.
Come
I
on.
can't stay here. Listen, that event that happened, because somebody's going to listen to this and they're going to say, well, what does it mean to be convicted to grow? Well, there's an event that everybody can go back to, and they say that was a pivotal moment in my life, and I said I ain't ever gonna be here no more. I'm not coming back to this moment. I got to move on. And so that conviction for you to move on to what's next, that's what convicted to grow mean to me. There is something in the past that I'm using as a tool. I'm using as gasoline, diesel fuel, whatever type of energy. There's something in my past and I'm using it to springboard myself forward. And that's where the conviction to grow comes from. That's when I hear that, that's what I feel.
Mic drop. I ain't got no mic, but that's my closest
That's
thing.
what I
Mic.
feel.
drop. Do you hear me?
That's
Woo!
hey, that is what I feel.
You can tell she got the anointing because if she was on stage, she would have went all in with this. Ooh, I felt that one.
I might have turned in a circle 360. That's that old school you when God's gonna do it, he'll turn it around and they turn around 360. Like now you like, no, we don't want to do a 360. We ended up back where we started. I want to do a 180, Pastor. So it's where I started, where I came from. I don't want to go back there. I'm convicted to grow past that. We going somewhere else. That's a whole word. That's a whole word.
That part. And I enjoyed every bit of this. Just know you always have a home. Anytime you got something new you would like for me to promote, anything, when that book comes out, I'm ready for it.
Okay.
I'm going to share it
All
to the
right.
community.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Listen,
Yeah.
I thank you for your obedience and not only being convicted for your growth and also participating in other people's growth, because this was big for me, stepping outside of my comfort zone and doing some new things. So I appreciate you as well for executing your vision and what you were convicted about, because everybody, I think other people are going to grab hold to that energy and really focus on what are you really convicted about and spend some time on that, especially entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because everybody got a side hustle, but they ain't convicted about it. I need you to find a business where you're convicted.
Y'all hear that? She about to be.
Listen, that side hustle versus real business talk. We can have that all day.
Girl, you're going to be having your podcast next year. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. You have a podcast next year. I'm giving her all these jobs, y'all. I'm giving her everything.
She lining up my 2020. We talking about thrive.
Thrive. We're gonna be everywhere. We're gonna be global, y'all.
But shout out to the communities that connected us. That's huge.
Yes, next level speakers community. Yes, shout out for real. I'm so glad I'm part of that community, and that just goes to tell you the community is everything, because you just never know who you can connect with. And
good people.
Yes, because like I said, I just saw what you were doing, and I said I'm gonna ask, right? So I thank you once again. Thank you.
I appreciate you. You are welcome. You are very welcome, Coach. With that green is popping.
Yes, well, it's my favorite color, and like I always say when I end it out, y'all, life is a journey. Life is priceless, and to some, life is too short. But while we here on God's green earth, you recognize who you are, you step into your potential. As you heard it here today, y'all, we already manifesting that we're gonna thrive in 2025. So I challenge you right now today, when you're listening to this podcast, start writing down the vision, start mapping it out. What is it that you would like to see happen for you in 2025? Don't just write it down now, because too much is given, much is required. You got to also put the work in. And I pray that God connects you with the right people, with the right community that you need, that's going to propel you to the next level, y'all. Thank y'all once again for joining us. We appreciate you guys. And as always, love you.
See ya.